Forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is what? Forgiveness is what? Free. I want to hear from anybody. Forgiveness is freedom. Forgiveness is what? Do you agree with me? Sometimes I tell friends that to forgive and let go and just get that burden out of my heart is for my own good. I'm not even doing the person favor. I am just trying to be free. So that because if you know the kind of heart, the kind of burden that people carry and nurture inside in trying to, for not good reason, anytime you see the person that hurt you or the source of the hurt, your mind skips. And your mood, maybe you're even in a party, dancing and enjoying. All of a sudden, the person just, without even knowing what he had done to you, your mood changes. Now, the person is the person that determines how you feel. It determines whether you want to feel hot or happy or anyway. Another person is determining your own mood, your own status. Now, the freedom there is that you just want to let go so that you enjoy your life the way it is. You enjoy your life. That is what forgiveness. That is one of the powers of being filled, of forgiving one another. The hate, it's too much of a burden. And I always use this example of racists, or ballists or religionists, all these extremists that we talk about. I want to give you an example. I always pity. I really feel that all these racists of the guys need serious, serious help. Why? Because they are the people hurting themselves for no good reason, something that has nothing to do with you, that has nothing to do with the person that you are hating, simply because of physical differences of skin or color or tribe or religion. That is not their choice. Whenever you see them, you build up this kind of hatred. And you start looking for temporary coping mechanism to lay it out. And I will tell you, most of the actions you see them doing, either by abusing you, fighting you, or doing whatever, is a coping mechanism. They're just trying to thinking that that is the way to help themselves. So once you see all those, the same person is a tribalist or no, have mercy on them. They are going through a lot. That means if you don't like blacks, any black you are seeing in the world will make you angry. Any bird, any person. If you don't like a particular religion, anytime you see them, you get hurt for no good reason. You start wondering, where are they coming from? Which shouldn't even be your business. So when you understand that they are acting out of their own psychological disorder. Ignorance. They don't know why they hate you, but they just hate you for no good reason. Taking that burden for themselves for so long, and for how long? You know? So that is part of not being free, having that burden up over them. So, like I mentioned, the coping mechanism is the hatred you see. They could only express their hatred as the only way for them to cope, which is not helping them at all. So, again, forgiveness is healing. Forgiveness is healing. Why do some bad elements kill or destroy? It is the software or knowledge that runs inside them. They do not kill us because they hate us as humans, but because they are vulnerable and afraid of life. The vulnerability makes them useful tools in the hands of manipulators who take advantage of them. It is because of what runs inside them that lies to them, and they believe in such programs. And this is called the manipulation. Manipulation, like, of course, I'm sure you know that most people that you see that do what they do today, take guns, kill, shoot, do all that, it's because the masters of manipulations that are using them already know that they're vulnerable. And they are looking, themselves are looking for solution. They want peace. But something and somebody and some people have manipulated them to make them believe until they kill these certain people, they will now be happy. But unfortunately, even if they finish killing all that people, they will still not find happiness and peace. But they didn't know that. And that is why most of us that are here, while the masters of manipulators or manipulations are doing what they are doing, it is our responsibility to start helping them by giving them more reasons why they should do the other way around, why they should have um, reasons to live another day, and knowing fully well that life cannot make any meaning to them if they live alone, that they need everybody around them to be happy. We can't just keep quiet on looking for revenge. So this is one of the things that I think that it's our own responsibility, because the bad guys or the bad elements are doing what they think that is right for them. Unfortunately, it's not right for anyone. And I say that it's our responsibility. Our responsibilities are not to kill them or to revenge, but to target, to reprogram them so that they will see life differently and value people around them. We suffer because of ignorance, like I always say, lack of knowledge. So forgiving them doesn't mean that they are free of their nemesis. The natural punishment will definitely come, and the law of the society will definitely come by the time the society is sanitized and revived. Our help. They don't know what to do, and they don't know what they do. But we certainly know that one day, if they are lucky to be alive enough to understand the implications of their attitudes and their actions, they will definitely be sorry for what they've done. And that is why we wouldn't wait for so long for them to cause more mayhem before we bring them back. Lastly, forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is a choice. Forgiveness is not based on feeling. It's not based on decision to be truly free and move ahead. It is a choice. Forgiveness is an attitude. It is a lifestyle, not a special wish or act. Forgiveness is healing for you and for everyone. To forgive one another or to forgive someone else, what do? First, this is just how to forgive people. First, pray for those who hurt you, that God will help them to know better and heal them too, because they may be facing genuine challenges psychologically. Try to reach out to them if you could and engage them in a peaceful dialogue to know why they do what they do. You may find out that they regret their actions or their reasons may be truly justifiable, and then you ease your burden. Again, steer clear. This is very important. Steer clear from that voice. Steer clear from that voice. You know the voice I'm talking about? What? Voice. Thought. There is something, the first voice that comes to you to tell you what to do. You might be hearing voices. Stay clear and you hear such kind of voice. That loud first voice in your head that will inject you with many lies, such as, he's a wicked man, he's a wicked woman, she did it deliberately. If you don't confront her, she will do it again. That is how their tribes or religion behave each time they do what they want to do. She must be cheating on you and your friend. Maybe that boss that drops her off office, she's now in the hotel with the boss. He is now in government. That is why he could flash water without stopping. Oh, you can imagine. He never liked our tribe or religion. That is why he flogs people from our tribe each time. He never liked us, and so on and so forth. So as true as those voices could be and could sound, for a dear life, it will destroy you with lies. So the most important way towards forgiveness is to face the voice and tell him or her that she is a liar. Make genuine excuses for those who hurt you. Just understand that if they know better and feel loved, they won't hurt you. Hurt could be very painful beyond description, but please don't allow the pains to decide who you are and your actions. For example, most killers are manipulated, like I said, to believe that if they kill you, they demonstrate their courage. They feel they are perceived enemies and end living better, or they feel better, particularly those with psychological disorder. Those are the things that they believe, that they never knew they were lies. So, in the end, forgiveness is a choice and is a test of our patience as a country and as individuals. It helps us to grow in patience and in character. And this is the only way to our true Nigerian society. Thank you so much.
Another round of applause for Dr. Deben. Thank you very much. You know, he said some very powerful things. And, you know, one thing that particularly impressed me, apart from the other things, which I want to emphasize, is the fact that when you forgive someone, like what we are here to do, it does not mean that the law of the land will not take its course against lawbreakers, against corrupt politicians, and against the people who have done all the evil they've done to us. The law will still take its place, right? The law is still. So we're not saying for just forgive and that. No, we, the people of Nigeria, we are sorting ourselves out, reconciling amongst ourselves. But the law will still take its course against everybody who has raped this country, who has broken the laws of this country. That will still happen. Nothing will stop it. In fact, when we reconcile amongst ourselves, that process will be hastened. The law will be empowered to be able to do what it should do. So that's important, right? Before I call on the next speaker, the final speaker for today, I just want to make an observation. You know, we, you know, we really appreciate those of you that are in the hall now. You know, your commitment, your punctuality, your going the whole course really gladdens our heart. You know, but if you look around, there are people who are no longer here, right? You know, the reason why we said we will get a hotel like this and host everyone, right? Not because we have plenty of money that's just lying there, is because we want to make sure nobody is distracted. We're all together to do something that we know nobody has ever done before. And it takes the commitment and the involvement of everyone to be able to make this thing to happen. It takes the citizens of a nation to build a nation, but it also takes vision, it takes commitment, it takes pain, it takes sacrifice. You know, it won't just happen just like that. It will happen because serious-minded people got together and seriously did what seriously needed to be done. So really appreciate those of you that are paying the price, going the whole hog, you know, and especially tomorrow is going to be our final day together. We really want to encourage you. Let's do everything we're supposed to do. You know, this one golden opportunity that Providence has given to us to do the unthinkable, to do what they say can never be done. Let's give it our best shot so that we leave this place satisfied that we played our own part. Right? Thank you very much. We appreciate you. And okay, we're going to call on our final speaker for today. If you check out your program, Speaking 3, the global and local economic potentials of a healed and united new Nigeria. The global and local economic potentials of a healed and united new Nigeria. And the person who will speak to us about that is our brother Chukwuma Okenwa. Please, let's receive him. Let's appreciate him as he comes here. Thank you very much. You're welcome. All right.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay. May I humbly request that we all stand just for a moment and give the person a smile. Just stretch, you know. Just a smile, just a smile. Okay, thank you so much. You might be seated. First, let me appreciate the leadership of the summit for finding me worthy to speak to us. And of course, it's going to be more of a conversation. I've been asked to speak on the subject, the global and local economic potentials of a healed and united new Nigeria. So let me start by asking a question. Do you have a second mic here? I want it to be conversational. I want to ask 1, 2, 3 questions before I begin to, delve into that. So the first question I want to ask. So the first section of this conversation is the implications of a healed and united Nigeria. So when you hear people tell you things like you have a Yoruba face or you have an Hausa face, what do they actually mean? Have you ever asked? Maybe someone say you look like an Igbo, and truly you are an Igbo, or you look like an Hausa. Have you ever asked what does it really mean? What does it mean? Just one contribution. When someone say, "Oh, guy, you look like an Hausa man," and you are like, "How do you know?" You are not on the attire. Okay, so please answer.
Okay, my name is Mohammed Yeriba Balla. I'm from Adamawa State. Absolutely, what I have understood that if someone said that you look like Yoruba, Hausa, or whatever, to me, I feel like an insult. Why? Because I prefer to be said like you are in Nigeria or you look like a Nigeria. That's all.
Okay, thank you. So he feels insulted. Is it really an insult to be associated with your tribe? Okay, just get it to the lady. Yes, you have to be very fast and vibrant. There's a lady in the front here. When someone say, "Yeah, you look like an Hausa." Yes.
My name is Asma Usagir. Okay. I think when somebody says a Hausa person, I think he means the way I behave. Maybe he sees the attire wear.
Okay, what of, have you ever been on a case like you didn't dress like an Hausa and somebody looked at you and just started speaking Hausa to you?
Yes.
Have you ever been in a case like that? Probably you are not even in your region. How many of us you've experienced something like that? Someone saw you in a region other than yours and then took you for being from a certain region of the country, and the person actually gets right. Okay, fine. The next question is, how many of us also have been in a situation where someone mistook you for someone from another tribe and started speaking the language actually to you? Before you say, Hausa, I know they're here. Okay. That's the second question for us. Now, what does that suggest to us? If there are times people have guessed right, where you come from, and there are times also they have misplaced you for someone from another tribe, it will be right to conclude that invariably suggests you could as well been from any other place. Is that correct? You could as well be from any other place. Several agitations on the grounds of difference and the need to go our separate way. These agitations has been there with lots of economic impact. But then the question that is there for us to ask first, let me ask another question. Is there any ethnic group in Nigeria without intra-ethnic clashes? Like, to be honest with yourself, at the national level, some of those things are hidden. But then at the ethnic level, you can even go in one state, you see communities clashing, even resulting to death. Is that correct? Okay. Now, there was something I told a man that was so angry, so provoked about Nigerian situations and the way people behave. And I told him, Oga, you've been married for 10 years. He said, yes. And I asked him a question. I said, is there any person that have done 10% of what your wife has done to you that you still talk to today? The man said, if anybody try that. But that is the beauty of marriage. That is the beauty of relationship. All around us, including brothers, have issues. But when they come at the level of nationality, we are not the same with these people. Some will even say light and darkness don't have anything in common. And I keep wondering, who is the light here and who is the darkness? But then the interesting thing is that we blame every other person except ourselves. And that's like a default setting. That's a default setting in life. Why is it a default setting? Let me ask another question. And anybody that answers yes to that, I think you deserve an award, a cash award from me. And what is the question? Is there any person in this hall since you were born, you have ever seen your face unaided either without the aid of a mirror, without the aid of a photograph, without the aid of a water reflection. Is there anyone like that here? Please stand. You may please take a stand. Since you were born. But guess what? You have been busy seeing other people's faces. But I'm just imagining, even with the mirror, you can appreciate yourself. And some people can still tell you, you don't look nice. You are very ugly. If you don't have any avenue to confirm what you actually look like, that would have been a disaster. But then it is psychological. It has to do with the mind. Our psychologists tell us that when others behave, we see that it is their character. But when we do the same thing, we excuse ourselves that it was caused by the circumstances. Same things others will do. You say, that's the way Yorubas behave. That's the way Hausas behave. But listen to me. Even those of them that say, Hausa gears are this way, check in your tribe. You see people that are 10 times of that. It is inability to look within that makes us take some positions, and that, of course, have some implications. Now, a friend argued, and this argument has been on. And let me ask again, I just need one person to answer. How many of you believe that by simply taking a rule that instead of introducing yourself and where you come from, just saying, I am Nigerian, and then deleting issue of states of origin, how many of you think that will solve our problem to some extent? Okay, you think it will. Okay, if they ask you, where are you from? You say, I am from Nigeria. Will it? Guess what? The last question is, what is your name? Immediately you say Abdul or Chukuma. The person we know, this is where he is coming from. Some will even stereotype you by the way you speak. I have a problem with the fact that you allow your mind not to accept people just the way they are. You are giving conditions to accept people based on what you want them to be and not the way they are. And that is where we begin to have problem in our world. And so I tell people, for those of you that believe in one Africa, one world, but you don't believe in oneness with people that are close to you, then you have a problem. And that is why in Africa, economically, it is easier to do trade with nations in Europe than nearby African countries. And it's almost happening like that in our nation because lack of national integration also results to has some dire economic consequences. Nigeria is not the only nation that is multicultural, multi-ethnic, multi-religious. And the interesting thing about our own instance, you know, Ghana is quite multicultural, South Africa. Now, you never hear Ghana say things like one Ghana, one South Africa, but we keep saying it. One Nigeria, one Nigeria. But the reality of the matter is that oneness is where? In the mind. Your ability to accept others. It's not just in saying, you know, like we are rehearsing it, one Nigeria, just like COVID-19 is real. COVID-19 is real. If you don't believe it is real here, there's no amount of, you know, rhetorics that will make you want to accept that it is real. Now, what is actually the problem of Nigeria? Because over time, when people look at the issues of ethnic divides and religious divides, we try to make a lot of cases as if to say, maybe we are treated this way because we are from here, or these people even love theirs. But listen, let's review these things collectively. I have come to discover in Nigeria that no ethnic group has a monopoly of bad leadership. No ethnic group has a monopoly of what? Bad leadership. No state is immune from the impact of bad leadership. According to Showere, he said those who are used to blood juice under one Nigeria, they will not be comfortable with coffee under a divided Nigeria. So what was he trying to say? Division is not the way forward. Because some people think, okay, if we divide, they are looking at the center, They are not even looking at the local government chairman from their own community that is not committed towards developing the local government that he is coming from. And you are looking at the man at the center. And that is where the problem is. That is why we have 774 local governments without local impacts. In essence, the essence of local government is to localize impact. Unfortunately, people are still very much far from governance. Mr. President disclosed something very shocking when governors were talking about restructuring. And he said, have you restructured your state? And he said, can you come and answer me? How come? You know, under his administration, part of the thing the administration have achieved, to pay local government chairmen directly through the NFIU. But guess what? When those monies are paid, the governors collect 200 million and send 100 million to the local government. The money, when it gets to local government, is further shared amongst those that call themselves stakeholders. And at the end of the day, when you look at the healthcare sector, look at the quality of education at the local government, it's a problem. Tell me, if 300 million multiplied by 1 year is actually utilized to develop your local government, will you not see the change you deserve? But every one of us, oh, Buhari, 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 and we fail to realize that the Buhari you see is the local government chairman who is not a Fulani, is not a Yoruba, is not any other thing except from your own tribe. You know where he is coming from. You know the father's house. But he has refused to deliver on the dividends of democracy. Okay. Now listen. Including the Niger Delta, when they agitate for more percentage for the host communities, even with all of the billions that go in there, the 13% derivatives, honestly, you see that no region is immune from bad leadership. That is why we need this healing, because the problem of our leaders, even sometimes when you review, some of them already that are SUG president, class representatives, the kind of things they are doing, when you upscale it, I tell you, they could sell the nation if they are given the opportunity to govern. So that problem is there. In fact, an average Nigeria will tell you, well, any day we get to this national cake. Listen to me, there is something we honestly believe. Many people believe that power changes people. It doesn't. It only amplifies what is there. When you hear some of know that it's not an accident, the way they behave when they get into there. And that is why this healing is very, very important. Now, many people have also accused the northern leaders of polarizing the nation's leadership, you know, in terms of appointments and all the rest. Perhaps a visit to the north will also tell you that no region indeed has a monopoly of what? Of bad leadership. So what does Nigeria need to do? Because when you come to sit down and think and ask yourself, what is really the problem? I will tell you that the problem of Nigeria is more of political than ethnicity or religious. We've seen people live together notwithstanding religion and ethnicity. But politicians understand what we call the divide and rule strategy. Divide and rule strategy. I'm telling you the simple truth. Like one of the things, I'm from the East. I'm from a place we call Nkano. Over time when I speak on radio, you know what I tell them? I say, you are agitating for Biafra. But in my place, in my village, in Abugo, somebody from this family cannot marry from someone from this family. They say this one is a slave, this one is a fool. Can you imagine that kind of thing? And the same kind of model also exists in different tribes. You've not removed the what? The small distance. You are looking at the big one in another person's eye. Listen to me, Nigerians live together, school together. Sometimes when you check when you were in school, the best of your friends were people not from your tribe. Friendship does not respect tribe. It doesn't even respect brother to hang out with your brothers than your friends. Someone you were born from the same parents. You know that a brother by default is like a potential foe. So you will prefer rather a friend that will stick closer than a brother. So it doesn't respect ethnicity. So it's what we've suffered in Nigeria is that of what? Politics of divide and rule. And it has worked greatly. And it's time to call on Nigerians to end this dragon called divide and rule. It is a political strategy. Once upon a time in Nigeria, if you give me $1, you've not given me up to 1 naira. You've just given me 60 kobo. Once upon a time. Once upon a time, agriculture was the mainstay of our economy. Cocoa was exported in the southwest, palm oil from the east, groundnut cassava from the north. And of course, we survived and thrived on agriculture. Farmers live peaceably with herders. Now, listen to me. Sometimes now when we talk about herdsmen, you know, there was a time my friend in the east was speaking and he said, some of you young persons looking for a job can actually become herders. When he said herders, the next thing that came to our mind was AK-47. But do you realize that being a herder doesn't necessarily mean being violent? If we could recall those days, including like places like Benue now, that there's lots of clashes. There were times farmers helped herders, maybe like to waters for their cows and all the rest of it. Nigerians lived peaceably. I could remember when we were much younger, when we see all those Fulani young children that are very fine. You just go about and snap with them. You know, this kind of thing, that level of collaboration. And that is a real Nigerian spirit that have once existed. Unfortunately now, there is a problem. But of course, the whole thing is all about divide and rule. Because the truth of the matter is that you don't just get gun on the street. And a header doesn't need gun to do his basic duties and stuff like that. The interesting thing is that the word farmer is basically used, including for the header and the person farming. So if both of you are in the same market, why will the existence of one inhibit the survival of the other, leading to food insecurity? So these are some of the issues we have to address. Now, when youths were in charge of the country, there was a time young persons were in charge of the country. Now, sometimes when people graduate, they tend to be more confused than they were when they actually got into admission. And that is because of the quality of education we currently have in the country. So how did we ever get to the point where we have the highest number of people living with poverty in the world? Somebody say, God forbid. Somebody say, not my Nigeria. Do you know what that means? Have you ever thought of it? With all these beautiful hotels in Abuja, maybe when you travel out, somebody is looking at you as somebody from the poorest nation. I mean, does it make any sense? The great giant of Africa. How did we find ourselves in this mess? How did we get to the point where our economy is on life support, borrowing to pay borrowed funds? We borrow. I don't know whether you saw the latest news. About 91% of revenue is devoted to servicing of what? Of debts. So you borrow to, just like digging a hole to fill another hole. It's a problem. For a nation that is rich in oil, we got agriculture, we discovered oil. Oil that ought to be our boom became our doom. You know, it's something that when people look at Nigeria, they don't just understand why this nation will not be the best on the surface of the earth. Because we have all of the potentials. Is there anything on our soil? Because when you even talk about the most educated immigrants in America, you talk about the role of Nigerians in the medical sector in UK, in America. Ask all the Nigerians to come back, their medical sector will collapse. Yet it appeared that when we are here, you know, the Nigerians, is there anything about, you know, being Nigerian? But I believe it's all about leadership. Achebe summarized the problem of Nigeria. It says largely and squarely that of leadership. How do we get to the point where Nigerian youths are largely unemployable and in dire need of direction, even after spending years in the university? The key word there is attitude. Someone says your attitude determines your altitude, your height. What are some of the attitudes we have? Human beings everywhere, but less investment into human capital. Listen to me. The best way to tackle poverty is to look at economic growth from the real essence why economists created that term. When you talk about increase in income per head, many people just summarize economic growth by maybe you divide the GDP by the number of Nigerians, including those that are working and not working. You say, this is what this one merits. But when you do that division next time, tell yourself, this is what I ought to contribute to the growth of the economy. And for those of them working in the civil service, month to month, they are not contributing anything economically. These are part of those that are drawing the nation down. Some civil servants in Nigeria complain, how much is minimum wage? But do you know the simple truth? Some of them, when you evaluate what they contributed to the economy, if they were into private service, that firm will not survive to pay them. I'm telling you the simple truth. You can even agree with me that if companies run their companies the way politicians run this country, companies will collapse. But guess what? Government have equity. You can always borrow. Keep borrowing and borrow more to service the borrowed funds. And it's not economically sustainable. The potential of a youthful nation, the second reason, apart from low investment into human capital, which is very important. When you have a human being, you have a responsibility. Someone to feed, someone to clothe, someone to shelter. But when you have a human capital, you have someone that is there to donate to the economy. The person is not a liability, but an asset. And that is what we need to begin to do as a people, so that we don't come to a point of even excusing that why we are poor is because we are many. If you are many, you should be able to leverage on that number to create wealth. Because, of course, you can't talk about productivity without labor. We have a youthful nation, and we are not leveraging on that. Unfortunately, our youthful strength has been wrongly diverted to restiveness and insecurity. You understand what I'm saying? When politicians finish shopping, maybe in Niger Delta, they will buy guns for young people and say, protest, that these guys are the problem. They are not looking at the ones they are sitting on. If someone at Babio gave a report about the Niger Delta Commission, everything B. And I'm like, is this kind of money here? And we are borrowing money. These are truths we must tell ourselves. Number 3, in Nigeria, we esteem the product above the process. An average Nigerian will tell you the end justifies the means. It is actually the means that justify the end. That is the truth. It is the means that justifies the end. Consuming nation rather than a producing one. Despite being a youthful nation, potentials. Of course, not the importation of finished products is the exportation of job opportunities. If you write it down, you can put my name there. Chukuma Ephraim Okenwa, CEO. CEO is actually the initials of my name. The importation of finished products is the exportation of job opportunities. What does that mean? When we sit back and wait for other nations to produce all we need, we've unwittingly transferred our opportunity to work to them. They will couple the phone you use, couple the car you drive, produce, in fact, the fabrics. So at the end of the day, you're only earning for making the wares. But a lot of our ready-made clothes still comes in. And the one that is even the craziest is that over the years, we've refused to let our refineries function. And you know the interesting thing? Petrol is not the only thing and gas that you get from crude oil. Do you know you have about 144 products? Bicycle tire, some of the, you understand, petrochemicals. We are losing all of those things and spending higher in buying a refined version. You know, I love what Ghana did at a point. The Ghanaian president visited Switzerland and they were thanking him. He said, this time we want to change the game. Look at the interesting thing. Ghana supplies both cocoa and gold to Switzerland. And then they will now import gold chocolate. Switzerland is the only country that is known to produce what? Gold chocolate. They were thanking Ghana and telling Ghana we are ready to further our trade relationship. You know what Ghanaian president told them? He said, we want to change the game now. He said, we'll use our cocoa and they go to produce gold chocolate, you come and buy from us. Come and see the way they were begging the guy like a beautiful bride. He was in for negotiation because the typical culture of an African is you export your cow and buy corn beef. That's the typical culture. Export your cocoa and buy what? Chocolate. We don't have that culture of refining, not just in crude oil. A culture that esteems what is foreign above that which is indigenous. How can a nation with over 10 presidential jets and play host to over 33 international airlines not have an airways? A nation, our president, of course, Nigeria is a rich nation, 10 presidential jets. And then we play host to over 33 airlines, yet to run an airway is a problem. Do you know the economy that is attached to owning one? Apart from flagging the Nigerian flag on this airspace of different nations, are you aware that to move people from one nation to another, you must transit through your own airport? If you enter Ethiopian airline, even if you are going to anywhere, even countries in East Africa, you must first do what? Touch ground. Some of them will give you transit visa. You go and look around, spend some money there. The economy is growing. Do you know that the Emirates airline, which is the largest passenger airline globally now, the King of Dubai started with only 2 aircrafts. Only 2. But with vision. Only 2 with what? With vision. Today, Emirates airline is everywhere. The largest passenger airline globally currently. Started with just 2. Okay, as I begin to tidy up. Allowing politics to inhibit regional productivity and potentials. These are some of the things that have led us to, we sacrifice meritocracy on the altar of mediocrity. Sacrificing meritocracy on the order of what? Mediocrity. And it has not helped us. The problem in Nigeria is not that we don't have people that will fix this nation. Our problem largely is kakistocracy. Having the worst of us, leading the best of us. Let me tell you, Mandela summarized leadership. You know what he said? Leadership is not rocket science. Oh. See what Mandela said. He said, a good head and a good heart will always make a formidable combination. Good head. Common sense is not common. No? When you reason with some of these governors, you know that common sense is not common. Common sense. And then, of course, a good heart for the people you are leading. Way forward. We need to invest into human capital development. The recent Human Youth Development Index, as was released by the Commonwealth, Nigeria scored, in fact, we moved from 141 over 181 to 161 over 181. And I was asking, what is unique about the 1-1? The nations that we are seeing is 181. Nigeria took 141 and then 161. Imagine if your child take 160, 141 and you are wrecking. Next time you will come back with 161. What will you do to that boy? I'm sure he won't have it funny. But that shows that we are not investing much into the greatest asset we have, and that is the youthful population. Unfortunately, politicians would rather prefer to direct the strength of young persons to help them secure political power. But listen, if they continue on that same track, you don't build a nation. The truth of the matter is that even some of them have witnessed with just a spark of violence they have seen, that if the whole of the place is set on fire, there is nobody that is immune from the violence. So what is our advice to politicians? Let's invest into young persons. I love what John F. Kennedy said. He said, we may not always build the future for our youth, but we can build the youths for the future. We can build the youths for the future by investing into the education. We need to open up various regions to the world. Why are some seaports not functioning? Why? Why are we not thinking of like connecting all of the parts of Nigeria with rail, not excluding some areas? Why are we not having a good airport network that is international in all of its, classification to run cargo services, open up the economy to the world? It is very important we begin to engage on some of these issues if we are going to transform into global competitiveness with viable economies. Of course, strict compliance to the local content policy. Let's buy Nigeria. Let's patronize Nigeria. Let's celebrate Nigeria. Let's improve that which we own. And then, of course, making Forex readily available for economic activities. When you see the way some Nigerians spend dollars outside of the country, my dear, you know we are not using these for the right purpose. Either in enhancing our foreign reserve to strengthen our economy, or in making it available in the NAFEX market so that those that want to export, those that want to do business of global capacity can have the liquidity they need. And finally, let's look inwards. Let's hold our leaders responsible. Thank you for listening.
Please don't stop clapping. That was powerful. Thank you so much, Mr. Chukwuma Okenwa. That was indeed amazing. Thank you so much. We'll be moving on now to the plenary discussion. I know that we're tired, and we assure you that we'll be done in very few minutes. All right, now we'll be giving an opportunity for a few number of us to air our thoughts. How far so far in this event today? What have you learned? What have you unlearned? What are you still looking forward to? What answers have you gotten? So can I please have a microphone to be passed around? I just need 5 people who are willing to share their thoughts. 5 people. I have 1 person. Any other person? Take the number. Number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4. 1 more person, please. Number 5. I would love a female, so I would add to that number. All right, number 6. Okay, so please, number 1, let's have you. Please, the man on the black. Please introduce yourself, your state, and be brief. You have 30 seconds, please.
Thank you for the opportunity. Good evening, great Nigerians. My name is Daladi Shadrach from Kaduna State. I have the privilege of attending the meeting from the beginning to this very point. So therefore, I have almost a full knowledge of what transpired here. Of a truth, I learned a lot. But one thing I observed when we were making our individual presentations of groups, we must realize that when coming to the reconciliation table, you don't come with emotions. This is something that we must realize. And one thing we need to look at, we're just a drop of water in millions of Nigerians. What plans do we have to step down this great knowledge so that this thing will reflect in the lives of Nigerians? This is something that I want to beg on the organizers of this to take consideration.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. A round of applause for him, please. Can we have number 2? Number 2, you signified for number 2. Please, his hands are up. Behind you. A round of applause for him. Please introduce yourself in 30 seconds. Go ahead.
New Nigeria is possible. My
agree
name
with
is
you.
Ada Apollos from Kogi State. This is a vision that is becoming a reality. Every one of us represents different tribe, groups, regions, and religion. I'm so excited to be a member of this New Nigeria. I want to commend the convener and whoever that put their hands on decks to make this vision a reality for all Nigerians to gather at the unity point of this country, which is Abuja, to have this vision unfolded. Thank you very much for this vision that we are making it a reality. Again, I would like to create our indulgence that this will never be a reality if every one of us is not part of this vision to ensure that we make it a reality from our religion, from our region, and from our environment, tribes, whatever, that wherever we are coming from and whatever we believe on.
Thank you very
We want to
much.
say enough is enough for wickedness, for corruption, for tribalism, for ethnicity. We want to say this is the time for one Nigeria. This is a time for new Nigeria, and we are all ready to go for it. Thank you. God bless you.
I love your energy. A round of applause for him, please. Please, number 3, go ahead.
Thank you very much. My name is Kehinde Otaro. I came with expectations, and I must say my expectations have not been let down. I want to appreciate very much the organizers for making this opportunity available for someone like me. I want to quickly appreciate my brother who spoke on behalf of the Muslim faith. The second speaker, actually. Prior to now, I didn't know most of the things he said. But from what he was able to speak today to enlighten me, I know that the Islamic faith preaches peace. Preaches peace. And I want to believe, because he was quoting several Quranic verses, that the few, that's according to what he said, the few 2% or 1% that's showing them in a bad light will not define them. So I appreciate him. God bless you.
Thank you very much.
Good afternoon, all. Actually, I'm Abakar Idris Sadiq. I'm sorry to say this, but honestly, I think it is necessary. The last speaker that talked about economy, being an Igbo man, I learned something, and I have clear doubts in my mind before what I really have upon Igbo people. By the way he justified reality, if I should have the opportunity to see this person be the president of Nigeria, definitely I can point this gentleman to be the president of Nigeria.
Thank you so much for that thought. There's a young man far at the back.
My name is Oladipupo Olaide. I'm from Ogun State, and I'm very happy to be here today. I'm so much deeply impressed with response from everyone here to my knowledge, and a lot of things that happens to be something that I personally never thought of happens to have been raised there, and it has actually imparted a lot of ideas to me, making me realize that not just my region or the tribe I come from that is hot, that generally we are all hot and we are in the same boat together. So it's just left for us to awaken ourselves to look on to the new Nigeria we hope for.
Thank you very much. And the last person, the woman right there.
Good evening, all delegates standing on the existing protocol. I'm Joyce Hamza from Kogi State. I want to use this opportunity to thank the organizers, thank my G-Role African coordinator, and thank National Reconciliation Summit for giving us this great opportunity to be here. Thank you all. I just want to say that by the time we get back to our destinations, the first thing people will ask us is how much they give una. What did you people come back with, especially come from a long place and you are in Abuja and you are lodged in a big hotel? They will ask you, how much were you giving? But when we get back, let's tell them we are giving what is more than money. That is what I've learned from this program. Because the knowledge, the expression, interactions we've had, the opportunity we had to meet different people, I don't think if we are to pay for it, we'll not be able to get here. So I appreciate the organizers. And when we get to our different places of worship, let's preach the new Nigerian reconciliation. When we get to the mosque, when we get to our places of work, new Nigeria starts with us. As we go to our places of work, if you are to resume by 8, make sure you are there before 8. Don't go by 10. Let's start as a new Nigerian by showing an example. Thank you all.
Thank you so much. We, the people of Nigeria, I would like you to respond, weapon. We, the people of Nigeria, we, the people of Nigeria, we have all been empowered to go into our communities and take charge and effect that change for a new Nigeria. A round of applause for every one of us, please.
Thank you, Moreni Kej. All right, round of applause for her, please. All right. We're going to go to our final program for today. Before I say that, Shadrach, one of the answers to your question, how we should step this thing down, you are the step down. If you got anything today, then don't expect me to come to your step down and step it down there. If you got something today, you go back and spread the fire. You understand? I mean, look at the potential here. If everybody, not if, we have it, it's there. It's in you, like Picnic used to say. It's in you. It's there. Don't let anybody deceive you. That thing has been woken up. So as we go back with the fire. Don't expect somebody to come and step it down to you in the place you are. You are the new Nigeria. You've got what it takes, and you can make the difference there. All right. So we're going to break out in our group sessions for 25 minutes. It's for 25 minutes. And what you're going to do is to prepare for tomorrow. Tomorrow, primarily, will be the session where we express our own apologies, right, for how we have faulted, offended Nigeria or some other section. So we need to prepare for that. So as you go out to your group for the next 25 minutes, you agree on how you've offended Nigeria or some other tribe, some other person, and then get ready, and then appoint who will speak on your behalf, so that tomorrow when we come in the morning, we'll be able to take care of that without any delay. Is that clear? All right. So basically, that's what we'll do for the next 25 minutes. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. Tomorrow, yeah. Okay. Excellent. Yeah. All right. Like Dr. Aminu said, when you're done, you don't have to come back here. You can leave and go back to your hotel. But take note, there are two things you will take care of tomorrow. One is what? Inspiration. I mean, the apologies you'll offer as a group to the rest of us Nigerians. And then secondly, my new Nigerian dream. Okay. So you need to take care of both those issues. Appoint who will present on your behalf. So if you go out to your group and you finish your work in 5 minutes, fine. In 5 minutes, you can leave. If it takes you 20 minutes, fine. If it takes you 1 hour, whatever time it takes you to deal with these two issues effectively, once you're done, you can just leave and go back to your room. Thank you very much. You guys have been amazing. You guys have been wonderful. You have made all the effort you have put into organizing this worth it. We are blessed immensely. You will never know how happy and joyful we are. Thank you very much. Make sure you get some rest. And tomorrow is our final day, and we will do something that has never been done before. Thank you very much. Please, tomorrow, yeah. Okay, just a minute. Tomorrow we are starting by 8:30 a.m. Please, let's be punctual. By 8:30 a.m., let's all be seated here so that we can flow. National anthem for closing. They're already going. I'll take off most of it for tomorrow. So, all right. I'll get back to you. I'll discuss with them, then I'll get back. Just 5 minutes, you say? 5 minutes. 5 minutes enough. All right. And it's not a
Вообще повеселее стало, чтобы все-таки их подвести к какой-то нормальной форме спортивной. Уже запомнились они и Шукитарети, которому пришлось несколько раз вступать в игру. Может быть, не так это было сложно. Готов говорить погромче, сколько угодно.